All right. William Afton should not have been in Security Breach. Just straight up, he shouldn't have been there. That being said, however, he is there whether his fans like it or not. That being said, though, there is a way in which Steel Wool could have made Afton's presence in the Pizzaplex a bit more manageable, while also not completely ruining the beautiful ending that we were given back in FNAF 6. This in particular makes me upset because FNAF 6 had what I consider to be one of the best endings of any video game ever. Like, the idea of having Michael and Henry tricking all the remaining animatronics into this one location so they could burn the whole thing to the ground with everyone, including themselves, inside of it, is such a boss move on their parts, even if Michael wasn't fully aware of what was happening until the fire started. But that final speech that Henry gave, that was an absolute amazing speech. It was legendary. It was, the perfect ending for the series, in my opinion. And so, in today's video, I'm going to be completely rewriting William Afton's role in Security Breach in an attempt to improve upon the basic story we were given, while also keeping the ending of FNAF 6 intact. This new story starts out basically the same as the original. Freddy still has a malfunction on stage that causes him to be put in low power mode, Gregory still sneaks into Freddy's green room, they still escape and progress towards Gregory's goal of escaping the Pizzaplex. Some small changes would be newspapers on bin boards discussing kids going missing around the Pizzaplex area, though these aren't really that important to this rewrite, just adding them in for a little context that the original game was sorely lacking. The first major story alteration comes about a third of the way in, about the time you usually have that first encounter with Vanny in the main game. This time though, instead of being chased into a worker's break room, Gregory is chased through the employee access hallways in the back, dodging around shelves and tables until he runs into a security office, where he is brought face to face with what looks like a big stuffed golden bunny. Gregory attempts to stop before reaching the creature, but his momentum carries him forward and he falls right through it, revealing that the bunny is just a hologram. The bunny turns to lock eyes with Gregory and says, "Let's see what this one can do." The bunny then snaps its fingers, and the lights in the halls turn red as the familiar sound of all three of the main animatronics flood into the office. The bunny has summoned them to Gregory's location. Now, this leads directly into a mechanic-for-mechanic recreation of the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, where Gregory has to keep the animatronics at bay by closing doors, looking through windows, and managing an ever-dwindling security power supply, while Freddy attempts to reset their current actions by rebooting the network that they are connected to, causing all the power in the Pizzaplex to go out for about 4 minutes, hence the security backup power. Once power is restored, Roxanne, Chica, and Monty all reset to their green room programming and leave Gregory alone, allowing him to escape the office. Now, once this mission is complete, you'll notice that both Vanny and Glitch Trap will start appearing in random places around the Pizzaplex, always just a little bit out of reach, such as one floor up or behind a glass window, and they will always be gone by the time you reach them. The rest of the game goes by as normal, until the point where Gregory installs all of the upgrades into Freddy that he can. Once this happens, Freddy is able to see a secret elevator hidden inside of Roxy's Raceway, which requires one of each of the upgrades to reach, as well as one of Freddy's handprints in order to open. Once the door to the elevator has been opened, however, Freddy starts spazzing out like he did in the opening. Gregory turns to see what's going on, when Vanny runs up and knocks him out with a single punch. Once Gregory wakes up, Freddy tells him that he's been out for about a half an hour, and it is now 5 a.m. The employees are about to start showing up to work, and that Vanny went into the elevator with an army of weird-looking staff bots. The two decide to follow Vanny into the elevator, which takes them deep down below the Pizzaplex. Once at the bottom, Gregory and Freddy step out and find themselves in a massive cavern with a few of those twisted-looking staff bots roaming around as if looking for something, while the rest sit motionless up against the cavern walls. At the far end of the cavern sits a building with a sign that reads Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Freddy and Gregory cross the cavern floor, avoiding staff bots, and enter the building. They see a stage at the rear end with two shiny plastic-looking animatronics on it, a chicken and a bear. Now, just to be clear for a second, this is not the FNAF 6 location. I felt that keeping that specific pizzeria around would have completely negated any legwork that this rewrite is putting in towards making the ending of that game actually matter to the story of this one. The two then spot a light coming from a room down a long hallway, so they go to investigate. The room in question is a security room, with no doors, which Gregory finds to be quite strange. They then hear a voice coming from within the room and duck into the kitchen to hide from whoever was in there. And then they listen in to what was being said. The voice started talking about how the plan was almost finished and that they were so ready for it all to be over. Freddy then gets up to go see what is going on, and Gregory follows him. When they reach the room, they find Vanny standing over the giant animatronic body of a plastic-looking bunny, spray-painted gold. A golden toy version of Bonnie, if you will. Gregory notices that Vanny doesn't have her mask on, and as she turns around, he realizes that it's Vanessa, the security guard from the main game. Vanessa tells Gregory and Freddy that they shouldn't have come down there, and that they were going to kill them. Gregory asks Vanessa what is going on, and she tells him everything. That Vanny was an alternate personality created by a virus that she'd contracted while working as a playtester for a VR game company, how that virus has now begun uploading itself into the Bonnie suit behind her. She told him that the virus could take over the code of the animatronics and make them do its bidding, and that she installed a failsafe in Freddy that would fight off the virus so that at least one of them could find a way to stop it. Freddy then asks if that's why he spazzed out on the stage earlier that night, and Vanessa said yes. Right then, Vanessa starts laughing maniacally as the Vanny personality takes back control of her mind. Vanny then tells Gregory that they were too late to stop it and that her hero would be back any second. Just as she finishes saying that, the golden toy Bonnie suit shudders. Then, it whirs to life with an ear-splitting screech, which quickly morphs into a twisted laugh. The suit stands up, its eyes open, a bright purple light filling through the glossy depths. It then spoke. "Thank you, Vanny dear. You have been a faithful servant. Reluctant, yes, but faithful nonetheless." The bunny then stabs Vanny straight through the chest. "But I can't afford to have that little alternate self of yours coming along and ruining my fun anymore. Now can I?" "But please, Mr. Afton!" Vanny pleads with the bunny, but it means nothing and she falls to the floor. Dead. A little context may be needed here. If you can recall back to Help Wanted, the William Afton that appeared in that game as Glitchtrap was explained as a digital upload of the real William Afton's consciousness. Basically a digital version of Afton that can live on as a virus, infecting people through technology, and this is what's happening here. He infiltrated Vanessa's mind through the VR headset and created the Vanny personality so that he could use her as a vessel to craft himself a new body. Also, side note, because I forgot to add this into the script earlier, but the version of Afton that we see all the way back in his first encounter is the Glitchtrap version from Help Wanted. With Vanny, and by association Vanessa, dead, Golden Bonnie snaps his fingers and, just like before, summons the other three animatronics to his location in an attempt to have them finish off Freddy and Gregory, while he continues to draw more power into the suit. Gregory then has to play a version of FNAF 2 in order to keep the three animatronics out, while Freddy attempts to cut all power to the Pizzaplex via the cable network that runs throughout the underground cavern. He does so, and all the lights go off, but the animatronics also stop hunting for Gregory. Though now Afton is strong enough to fight Freddy if he needs to, so he returns to finish them off. But what happens then is that Chica, Roxy, and Monty all recognize the golden bunny in front of them, and a long dormant program that was put inside of Freddy is activated, sharing it to the other three, labeling any golden bunnies as high-level threats. They all then attack Afton, leaving Freddy and Gregory time to run from the cavern and make it back to the surface where things are calm. But then, Golden Toy Bonnie busts up through the floor, all broken and withered, looking a lot like a previous Golden Bunny that we've seen in this series. He then chases Freddy and Gregory until they reach the main atrium, where Gregory trips over a chair. Withered Golden Toy Bonnie, or whatever we're going to call him at this point, prepares to strike him down when, out of the wall, comes a massive white-gloved hand which smashes down on Afton and crushes him straight into the floor. As we look up, we notice that it's DJ Music Man. He then nods down at Gregory, looks over at Freddy, gives him a nod too, and turns to leave back to his arcade. Freddy then walks up to Afton's broken suit. He prepares to set it on fire and hopefully destroy the virus within. But just then, its eyes whir back to life, burning a bright purple, and he stabs Freddy straight through the torso. But Freddy is able to use the lighter in his hand to set Golden Bonnie ablaze. Gregory rushes to Freddy's side crying as Freddy tells him to run. Gregory doesn't want to leave without his only friend, and Freddy hands him a small plushie of himself that he keeps in his prize pouch for special occasions, telling Gregory that he will always be his superstar. His eyes then flicker out, and Gregory runs out of the burning pizzaplex, tears streaming down his face. But of course, you know I couldn't leave this game off without teasing the next one, and in a post-credit scene, or whatever the game equivalent of it is, we return to the charred remains of the pizzaplex, burned to the ground. We then zoom in on the crippled remains of Golden Bonnie, with Glamrock Freddy lying next to him. As we zoom in, we see Bonnie's eyes shoot open and burn a bright purple. Thank you all so much for sticking around until the end. So you see, I wanted to give FNAF 2 some love in this game, since it's never really been revisited in a major way in any of the mainline games, and I always thought it was an interesting setting. Now, by no means is this a perfect fix for Security Breach. Heck, it's probably not even a good fix for the William Afton inclusion in the game, but what it does do is it leaves FNAF 6 alone, and that's really the whole reason I did this silly little experiment. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, recommend who I should fix next, whether it be a movie character or video game character, and I'll see y'all later. Take care.